Are you writing an ebook? In this video, I'll give you 4 questions to ask yourself before you begin. Hi everyone, it's Matt from Greatness Everyday, and with this video series, I hope to give you a behind the scenes look at kind of what it takes to write an ebook and publish that ebook as well. So today in this video, I'm going to give you 4 questions that you should ask yourself before you write your ebook. And that doesn't matter where you're hosting it, that doesn't matter who you're publishing it through, but these are 4 questions that you should consider before you go ahead and write an ebook. This is the first book that I've ever written, so I'm making sure that I go through and documenting what I'm doing so that I can share with you some of the tips and tricks that I learn, as well as some of the things that I've learned maybe not to do, and hopefully you will follow along and you won't make those same mistakes. So let's jump into it. The 4 questions that you should ask yourself before writing an ebook are: number 1, who is the book for? 2, what problem does it solve? 3, why am I writing this book? And 4, how does this go along with my goals and dreams? Now, these are 4 questions that I came up with myself to really use these as guiding questions that as I'm going through and writing my book, I can always go back to these 4 guiding questions and make sure that I'm staying true to the reason that I'm writing the book, okay? So if I look at question 1, who is the book for? I'm going to take you behind the scenes now and show you a little bit about kind of the book that I'm creating and why I'm writing it, and answer those 4 questions as we do that. So who's the book for? Number 1, this book will target millennials and others who want to obtain financial freedom by following this budget. So you can see there that I wrote it out. I actually wrote it out. If I was doing a presentation, I definitely wouldn't have as many words as are on this slide, even especially the next few slides. But I did write it out so that I know who the book's for. I have a specific audience that I am writing, and I can always look at who am I trying to target here? Well, it says I'm trying to target millennials, so people a little bit about my age and a little bit older, and others. So I'm not just targeting millennials. I want other people to buy the book as well. But when I'm writing specifically to millennials, I know that there's certain vocabulary and there's certain maybe life situations that they're in currently. And I can kind of tailor it to that. Other people will buy in, they'll enjoy the book, they'll get a lot out of it, but my specific audience is people, millennials, maybe people between the ages of, let's say, early in their 20s to maybe about 40 or so, a little bit more specifically, male and female, this applies to as well, but they want to obtain financial freedom following the budget. So I didn't explain this before, but I am writing a book about a budget that I developed and I've been using for 8 months now. And the budget's really kind of, even the short time of 8 months has really helped me get ahead of my finances. One of the things that I'm looking at for me personally in 2018 is how I can best use my money. So this has led to me developing a budget and going through and really wanting to share that with people. And I talk about that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But who wants to obtain financial freedom? What is financial freedom? Because that's a term that many people use. And to me, financial freedom is not having to worry about money. That doesn't mean they're super loaded and they're millionaires and they're billionaires and things like that. But once you have financial freedom, you don't have to worry about money. Money isn't a struggle for you in terms of for the life that you live. So I've created a budget. I'm going to outline that in a series of videos as well as an ebook that people will be able to read and use the videos as well. And they're going to be able to obtain financial freedom by following the budget that I'm going to outline in the book. The second question is, what problem does it solve? So very detailed here. I'm saying the information within this book will give readers a blueprint to follow when establishing a budget and a plan they can follow to make their money go further. It will give people who are looking to take an offensive approach and get ahead of their finances and win the long-term game. So that's a very clearly defined problem that this book solves. This is also something when you're marketing a book or an online course or a video or something like that, something that's a product, something that someone will buy, is they want to know what problem it will solve for them. So in this case, what problem does it solve? It's very clearly laid out here. The information within this book will give readers a blueprint. So I'm giving them a plan essentially that I've used, I've tested, and I'm giving that directly to them. Okay? They can take that plan and follow that when they're establishing a budget and a plan of their own, whether they use my exact budget, whether they tailor it a little bit and use mine as the blueprint, that is okay. It's going to make their money go further, which I think is something that everybody wants. I mean, wealth and finances is a specific niche, and there's a lot of money to be made if you look at on YouTube or online courses in those specific niches as well. So what else does it do? It will give people who are looking to take an offensive approach. So they're really looking at getting ahead of their money and their finances, and ultimately win the long-term game of financial freedom. Question 3 is, why am I writing this book? Which obviously is a huge one. I never thought in my life that I would be going ahead and even interested in writing a book. To be honest, I never thought I'd do that, and that's something that I can say and know 100% that is the case. So why do I want to write a book now? So I'm writing this book because I want to share with people the budget that I developed, which has helped me get ahead of my finances, even in that short-term time of 8 months, and really make the most of my money. I now have a plan that I'm going to be using long-term that is helping me do that and create long-term wealth, and I believe that's something that others can benefit from too. So why am I writing this book? If at any time I'm discouraged when I'm writing this book, I'm tired, I don't want to do it anymore, I come back to this. Why am I writing this book? It's my guiding question. It tells me exactly why I'm going through all of the process, why I'm going through all of the pain and the uncomfort and just the long hours that it's going to take to write this book. Even if it's a short ebook, why am I writing this book needs to be a question that you ask yourself before you write a book. And the 4th question is, how does this go along with my goals? And this is a very important one that I think a lot of people overlook, because so often we get so focused, I want to write a book, or I want to make a video, or I want to do this thing or that thing, whatever it is. A lot of the times we get tied up in the doing, in the actions, but we don't really think about how it ties into our goals. So for me, this is a very important question that you should definitely be asking yourself. How does it tie into your goals? How does it tie into the dreams that you have for your life? Because ultimately, you should be working on those goals. You should be working on those dreams. So for me, I started Greatness Every Day because I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to challenge others to live their greatest life possible. One area that I'm focusing on in 2018 is finances, like I said before. This book, so this is how it fits into my goals. This book will share my journey. I want to document my journey. I want to share my journey with a larger community that challenges myself in the writing stages of the book and the marketing stages. It will lead to other opportunities to encourage other people to kind of make themselves focus and challenge them to ask how can they use their money better, and lead to further networking, speaking, and interviewing opportunities. So I'm really hoping that me writing this ebook will challenge people to do the same thing that I'm doing and looking at how to kind of live their greatest life possible. And then these other things at the end, networking, speaking, and interviewing opportunities. I really hope that as I come out of this, writing the ebook, and people are buying it, people are looking at it and sharing it and talking about it with each other and giving me feedback on it, that will lead to further opportunities just to share kind of my journey. I'm doing that a lot right now on social media. I'm going to be doing that through this ebook as well. But I'm really looking forward to kind of developing and expanding and start developing more of a community all revolved around networking, speaking, and interviewing. So those are the 4 questions that I think you should ask yourself definitely before you write a book, before you write an ebook, even before you write an article, for example, I would say as well. So make sure that you ask yourself those 4 questions. All right. I do want to say one thing here. Make sure that you let me know down in the comments below what you think of these 4 questions. Do you have any other questions that you think you should add and somebody should ask themselves before they write their first ebook or before they write any ebook? I'd really be open to hearing kind of what you have to say about that. I'm also going to ask you if you want to follow along with my journey as I go through kind of my challenge to myself in terms of living my greatest life possible and looking, really focusing on 2018. How can I use my money better? Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in knowing when a new video comes out, tap the bell to be notified when that happens. You can follow us on Instagram, obviously, Greatness Everyday, and you can also listen to our podcast. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Play Music, it's on Spotify, it's on the Anchor app. You can find it on many other podcasting platforms as well. Just search Greatness Everyday in that podcasting platform and you will find it. Or you can check out our website at www.greatnesseveryday.online. And I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. Get writing.